Good evening, everybody. Here we are again on Skyblivion stream for some creature work. Um, nice to have you. Tonight we'll resume again the work on the goblin, which is taking quite the time to get ready, but it's also the first custom behavior I'm doing from scratch, so not too much. So I've made a bit of work in between the two streams, so I'll review it quickly. I hope you can hear me. Hi, Martin. And so let's get back to work. We saw last time that we need a special modifier, this BS Ragdoll Contact Listener modifier. Actually, that is documented here, where Aerisarn gladly decoded the Havoc serialization reflection, which allows to understand what customization Bethesda has made to the Havoc behavior SDK, and each of the original behavior projects, like you can see here the Drogue, which I'm using as a model, but also, let's see, do I have it open? Yes, this, for example, is the deer, and on the deer behavior we can see the root states are exactly the same as the one used by the Drogue, even if the deer is obviously missing some special states like shout, stagger, and bleed out. And here on the animate ragdoll, on the modifier list, we have this BS Ragdoll Contact Listener modifier, which actually lists a vector of bone indexes, which are simply the capsules seen in the skeleton, for which we want to receive an event whenever there's a contact with the terrain or another rigid body. So what this modifier is actually doing is sending out the ragdoll event when we have a contact for the ragdoll. Its purpose is just to transition to the ragdoll state whenever we're playing the animation of death and we hit something. So if the goblin or the deer or the drogue or any other creature actually hit the something like the wall or the terrain while in the state, it will fire the ragdoll, and due to the transition to the ragdoll state, which is activated on the ragdoll event, we're going to immediately transition to the ragdoll state. So in practice, the creature will not complete the animation play, but just start from the frame on which it actually hit something, and so it will be much smoother than just continue the animation ignoring the collision. So actually implementing this node it's quite difficult, because it's not only a single node, but it also refers another array, which will be another node in the behavior. And so for it to work, we need to adapt the post-process tool to transform this a modifier, a standard modifier, in this case the keyframe bones modifier, which I've selected because it actually permits to define a bone index array. And so we need on the post-process tool to transform this modifier into a BS ragdoll contact listener modifier. This is achieved by this little piece of code into the post-process tool, where we actually cycle through all the objects of the behavior, and whenever we encounter the type of modifier we selected as a placeholder, we actually perform a substitution using this other piece of code. We create the right modifier, the Bethesda one, set some hard-coded parameters, substitute the original event with new one. So we can actually compile this modification and this is the Maven install process of the project, which is also in GitHub, even if of course this latest modification, and we're going to need some other one, are still not pushed, and I'll do it after the stream. Okay, the build was a success, so we can proceed to export the behavior a couple of times because of directory lock, but not a big problem. And now we expect to see that this modifier list will have this modifier substitute with the right one in a bit, of course. Let's see if someone... Okay, actually when I started working on the behaviors, neither I had any idea of what I was doing, and frankly I don't have a clear idea right now of what I'm doing, but anyway, sometimes it just seemed to work. Okay, so let's get to the reload of our generated behavior and search for the BS ragdoll contact listener modifier, which was correctly added with our hard-coded user data. Its name is collision listener, and that is because this data was actually reversed from the Skyrim lot, and as I didn't have any idea of what kind of values the contact modifier, or for what is worth any modifier had, I just used the most used value inside the behavior lot, the entire behavior set of Skyrim. And so it seems that every single instance, or almost every single instance of this modifier, was called collision listener. So when I actually created that, even if I didn't set name, it took the default name, which means the process was successful. What is strange is that here I have an inner event created, which should have also a payload, and in this case, being null, made it have just one parameter, and I don't think that's correct, because in Havoc serialization and event ID, this object should also have a payload, which is a string saying null even if it's actually null. So let's make this small correction on EV set payload. I want it to be null. Okay. And this is quite boring, having to regenerate the entire tool. It is worse because this is actually a Java program which I selected because it was very easy to get out a good parser for the XML files, but it means that we have to not only compile but also create an executable, which is actually an embedded JDK. This is the version, and an X process that will launch the JDK and execute the right program. So the process is not just compiling but also packing, which includes the JDK unpacking and packing again. Anyway, let's see if that modification was successful by exporting again. Would be nice to implement some kind of switch to avoid having to reconvert and reprocess all every time, but I think most higher priority in Skyblivion is actually having working creatures. So what you see is just the minimum set of tools I needed to achieve this purpose, and I hope that I don't have to do much more. So let's search again for our modifier and see if let's search something more specific. Yes, correct. Not this. Okay, so now the event, the contact event, is well formed because it has both the ID and the payload property, and so this should work. I think it may be a good time to test the ragdoll in game, so let's make a pause and see how things work out. We have to update the behavior in game. I may probably set the export directory here, but I'm lazy, so I will just do it. And also I had to extend the set of events the game biro is doing for the goblin. You see this death weight actually triggers the that animation. If you remember, that animation is transitioning from moving state to animate to ragdoll, so it actually means it will play the animation, while fully ragdoll will just go down. And so we have two kind of events. This is for when the creature will receive a very hard hit, like the Fus de Rash shout, and will immediately go into the ragdoll state, while this is for the death. So let's close, save, and launch Skyrim. Yeah, I should also remove playing the initial loop, but again, I'm very lazy. Here you are. And now let's send a ragdoll event just to be sure that the ragdoll is working. It is, but still has some problems with the ground collision I should look into. By the way, this is an inconsistent state because the creature is still alive, but having transitioned to the ragdoll state, it won't play any animation, and it's also unable to move apart from turning around. As you can see, let's kill the poor beast. And let's see, the foot are still collisioning to the ground. Let's see the back part. Okay. Anyway, the ragdoll is working because what you've seen is not an animation, and so the goblin falling is the direct effect of having the ragdoll activated and be influenced by the ground. Now let's see what it happens if I kill it before the time, but I don't expect much as the states are not still complete. Yeah. It's crashing, it's crashing, it's crashing. No. Just had problems playing the animation, but the ragdoll is here. Didn't transition to. Okay. We will see why it's having these problems playing the stagger animation. My microphone is low. Yeah, I should get a new one, but I really don't have time for it right now. And okay, this modification at least was successful, And now I'd like to check this clip. Ragdoll trigger is playing the ragdoll, but I really have a doubt about that. Let's see when the special behavior is triggering the ragdoll event at local time of 0.74, and let's see the special idle. Special that backwards. Where is the duration of this? Oh God, what is block duration? No, I don't want block duration. I want to know this duration, which is exactly 1 second. So the ragdoll event is actually triggered a little bit earlier than the end than I thought. 74. Okay. While the ragdoll animation, death animation here is like 1.2. Let's put a 0.7 here just in case. Okay. So here we have the add ragdoll notify event, correct. We have the transition to the fully ragdoll state, I hope. Yes. And the main event for driving this transition is the ragdoll. It may be useful right now to see what kind of transition we have between the state, and I mean the blending between states. So let's get the transition between the death animation event, so between normal state and going into animate to the doll. This is the death blend transition, and here we have a little less parameters about the transition, I think, but maybe we have something to set here. Transition on ragdoll to fully ragdoll. Okay, type is blending, and nested to nested, priority is 0. We don't have any trigger interval. See a little less data than what I like. Nothing here. Okay. It's a blend. Self transition is continue if acyclic and blend if cyclic. I'm losing myself into the windows, but I'll get out of it, so it's okay. event mode default. Let's see, blend curves smooth. We have some flag to set, but seems like the havoc behavior is not. Oh god, what happened? It may be useful to search for the ragdoll here and see one-on-one parameters, because we don't have transition name here. No, we don't. But I know that the ragdoll is what I was searching for, is event 9, and the state I'm transitioning from is the moving turning behavior. Which I called moving state, and the transition are on this key. The event ID is 8 and this is 9, so this is what actually is driving the transition to our stated ID 2, which should be animate to ragdoll. Okay, I was searching these, but I actually have to look at these, I think. And also I've set the trigger window event for one of the transition, and it doesn't seem to get export. Let's get back. These are the transition for the moving state. Nothing seemed to be applied for the window event here, and this is bad because while the 2010 behavior tool actually allows for more than one event cost from entering into a state machine, we don't have the same capabilities here on 6.6, and we can only define a single event. So I try to cheat it into casting the event in the trigger window, which should be stated here somewhere, but instead what happens is the event is deactivated, so this I have to find some other way to make this event also cast. And let's see, our death animation event was number 8 because ragdoll, I know it's 9. You should just have to count, start it from 0 to the event you want. And let's get back to the transitions. So the starting transition is these. Our flags are disabled condition, but we don't actually have a condition associated to the transition, so this should mean nothing in this case. Instead, in the transition animate to ragdoll, let's see if I get this. There's also a flag is local wildcard associated to the transition, so that's too bad because it means that I actually have to correct this somehow. What the fuck will be a but at the end of from state? I really won't know. I should have a local wildcard setting, but seems to be somehow grayed out, so I can't set it. The transition is state during transition is to state. It means that we will immediately enter the moving state here, and the same is for moving state to animate to ragdoll, of course, and I don't know if it's correct, but let's see. Doesn't change anything on the wildcard settings. I may have may really have screwed up with the kind of transition I'm using. Let's get back to the behavior 3. This transition array, yes, this is not a local transition as I made it. It should be a wildcard transition, and that can account for the strange things we see. So sorry, you have to go. Yes, root behavior, new wildcard transition, select state, I think should be animate to ragdoll. Okay, to animate to ragdoll. Yes. And now we can effectively have local transition. We don't allow for self-transitioning. The from state, let's see if it's somehow get filled. It's not this. Transition on that animation. From nested state ID, from it's not used, and the event is the same, and now it should have the correct transition. Let's see. Basically, it created a new event that we obviously don't need, and we're going to use the death animation event to go to animate to ragdoll. And maybe it's not the same single transition we have to fix. Let's see. So yes, both that animation, ragdoll, and ragdoll instant, they're all local wildcard. It means that it doesn't have any importance which state is activated right now. On the event, the transition will happen. So we have to sever some here, moving state to fully ragdoll, fully ragdoll instant. Go away, die. And we need more wildcard transition to animate to ragdoll. We already have one. And to fully ragdoll, okay, but I remember there was another one here. Ragdoll, death animation, and ragdoll instant, of course. Again to fully ragdoll, this time fully ragdoll instant, and now triggering that is ragdoll instant, and triggering this is ragdoll. Okay. Now we have somehow fixed the wildcard transition here, here, and here, and we can delete the events we don't need. Yay. Let's export this. Okay, seems a lot of people is getting problems with my microphone, but that's the best I can do, so I'm sorry. Maybe I will get another microphone or another setup, but right now that's how it is. Want to see the log? Okay. And what about the goblin behavior? Should have been regenerated. The time is right. Oh yes, Notepad++. Finally you catch up. Let's get back to this, but obviously now the IDs are different, so I have once again to search for the moving state and our event, what will be. We don't have the transition here because we have to search for that on the root behavior. So root behavior is it is wildcard transition now is different from null, and we have our transition with the right flags on them. Curious to see that in game actually. Oh, not really. I'm curious to see it in simulation. Yay. Yes, of course, the Havoc is somehow screwing up because the Goblin is too big and the mesh seem to have problems. Let's see in game, but the working was much better than the last simulation, so I hope also in game will be better. And here, let's play. Yes, I'm working on the Goblin because actually one of the Skyblivion developers was making a new mesh for it on the skeleton, so I feel compelled to start from the Goblin so that he will be able to test the mesh in game. I will release this project as soon as I have it in a decent shape so that he will be able, of course I will release it to the Skyblivion team. I won't be able to release it to the general public because of course it's using resources from Oblivion and I'm not allowed to distribute them, sadly, even if right now it's like 11 years old, it's still sold. On sale, better to say. Hello, let's kill. Still have the same problem on playing that animation, which is strange because the behavior was actually different this time. Well, let's go on because actually with behaviors, until you have things completely figured out, the behavior is undeterminate, so let's not focus right now until we have everything laid down. To fully ragdoll instant, and death animation. I'm curious to see what happens. Initiate interval and trigger interval. I don't know what this mean. I think I also never saw them different than 0. Let's see. I should trigger info. Yes, they're actually almost every time null and different from set to a null value, so bad luck. Oh god, no, I don't want Visual Studio to start. Fuck you. This is not correct, by the way. The enter time should be 0 and not null. This I'll have to fix on my library. Anyway, let's go on with the other transition, but if they specialize this transition, I somehow believe there should be some non-default values. Which transition event I'm using? It's the 10 one. Here it is. While our Deathblend transition for the Droger is this. Duration is a bit shorter. The end mode is the same. We don't have the ignore from word model flag. The self-run transition mode is correct. Don't have any user data. Signature, binding set, and so on. So shouldn't be a problem, but I'd like to have this flag set. So let's see if we find something that resembles this. Hey, give me some flags, please. No? Not from word model. Yay! Let's give it a meaning too, now that we have customized it. The wildcard transition aren't shown here, which is kind of lame considering that I have them. Very well done. Have a very well done. And what about the other transition, the ragdoll and the others? They also have custom effect. So let's take this, and the self transition mode is reset. This is actually the blending transition is a bit longer, but also our death animation is a bit longer, so I will modify that. Mode default, don't have an end mode. Do we have flags? No, we don't. And carve smooth. Okay, let's call it the ragdoll transition effect. Okay, and also we kind of want the same effect here. And well, we'll just delete the custom auto-generated when we have to. Right. Let's review the modifier list for animate to ragdoll, just in case. We have our event, we have the transition to ragdoll, animate to ragdoll, and again the transition here has a ragdoll transition effect, so let's change it now. And always save. Even if I don't want to bring bad luck, but the Havoc behavior tool is really solid. I didn't have any crash or nothing like that. It's not like the CK, but it's also a simpler tool, so nothing to compare to what Bethesda is using to create words. Okay, the transition now is done. We have our keyframe. We set the rigid body control data last time. We have our BS ragdoll contact modifier, the clip generator with the ragdoll event. I think that this is very much complete, and we can go to the Folly Ragdoll event. I mean state, of course. Let's close this. Yay, one less. Animate to ragdoll. No, I'm joking. Fully ragdoll. We have two events to fully ragdoll. We have to accommodate for this interrupt cast, and let's see, how can I do it? I may do something on post-process, but as we're not testing combat, we may just avoid to do that right now. So our remove character controller from the word will just be enough. And we have a transition without condition. What is strange, I don't see any transition effect for this transition, which is kind of strange. Let's see how it was modeled here, but is it possible to delete this? No, I don't want any transition effect. Okay, yay. And okay, our modifier generator and our mod list. the event-driven modifiers. This will be fun. One is the full ragdoll, and I don't have support for knowing which kind of event is deactivated, but I have activated it by default. And then there's okay, I can close this because it's just confusing now. Yes, we have this power ragdoll, no matching. And God knows what the fact that means. No, seriously, we'll see what that means, but instead we have an event-driven modifier with events to understand, and the only way is to go to the tier behavior on the graph data and go to the event info 116, which is get up begin instead of get up start. Thanks. Why not? Let's just call it all and one the same. New event. Right. And the for God's sake, let's call it how they call it, or we're gonna get mad doing that. Full ragdoll 116, which is the deactivate event. Well, it doesn't have an activate event. Get up begin. For God's sake, let's save. Okay, we have the get up event on the activation. Do we have to add something else? No, it's active, it's true, it has user data 1. Oh, you have to be kidding me. And how I'm supposed to set that? Let's see. Yes, save all. To have something looking in my directory. Not anymore. Yay. Yes, it is a fully custom skeleton. Actually, it's an Oblivion skeleton, so it's not from vanilla. It was converted using Max plugin and a fully custom Max plugin. You can see it on the opening of the first stream. No, I don't think that Kyle is joining us. Was busy tonight. And hello, Liam. And thanks for the support on the chat. Not able to follow it much. Let's see. I was searching for the full ragdoll ATM. And of course, our user data is nowhere near 1 because the tool doesn't even allow for that. So we'll have to do a little of post-process again, and this time we have no other means of fixing the name we're going to replace. So no, will be this, and so going to get let's see what this will be, and even drive and modifiers. So now if yeah, this is awful, but until I know exactly what I'll have to do to obtain unusable behavior, there's really little sense in refactoring. And so let's say these two variable, and this will be right. No. Name. And if by any means we found it, let's set the user data to 1. And regenerate the post-process tool to accommodate for these setting. Yeah. Yes, very much. really hope that powered ragdoll controls modifier will have all this data. We have the power ragdoll control data, the bone weight array, and the enable, but seem to be missing some stuff. The control data, the enable, and the word from model data we really don't have. We'll have to add these as well. In the meanwhile, got what happened. I don't even have any more the console on this. No, okay. Here we are, and let's once again export. Yes, I'm doing havoc behavior for the assets converted from Oblivion to have a working creature in Skyrim. And now I just need a good image, because yes, I'll be back in 5 minutes, and later guys. And back. Okay, so regenerated the tool, and I think I also exported it again. I hope no. Let's see. Yes, next step will be adding this word from mode data, I guess. Should have it coded. This also have pose matching bones, so I'll have to find a modifier which actually give me the possibility to set these values from the tool, otherwise would be very difficult to achieve anything. Yes, I want to reload, and now thank God our user data is okay. And I don't think I have anything else to do on the event driven modifier, but now I'm afraid I had to set the user data also on the body ragdoll controls modifier, the drive ragdoll RB. Let's search for it. Yeah. So seems like every time we have this modifier, I'll have to set that, and this is actually boring. Let's do a set of that, because how is it called? Power attract. I don't have the set, so let's do it another way. Implementation, for God's sake. Guy, the JDK7. And now, if the object is an instance of course. Yeah, I could use a lambda expression for this, but not very useful. One again. Right. So the animate to ragdoll sadly wasn't so finished, but now it is. And we need to set also information on the word from model data there. No? Was it another type? Yeah, because this was rigid body and not a powered ragdoll. And I don't think they have custom class in common, sadly. I have to extract the interface for user data, but let's just replicate the sets. Our ragdolls, and the other one was our ragdoll and rigid body. Again. And now also set user data 1 to our ragdolls in our set. Right. Plus see the export on the powered. Yeah, because matching bone, of course, it's not set to any value, while instead we have to set it with a pose matching bone 0, 11 and 10. Let's see what we're talking about on a ragdoll instance. Of course, the center of mass and the humerus and the radius, or the neck and the humerus. That's very strange. See, do we have an index here? I don't think so. We have a constraint. Let's see the skeleton. Yeah, the neck and the homers. I have no idea why, but that seemed the pose matching bone for this. Oh God, this is weird, very weird, because the modifier doesn't have this data, and instead we have to do that, but we also have to maintain the power ragdoll here. So I need some kind of smart solution for feeding that data inside the could be I could use the bone index array, which is unused in this case, to set the indexes on the bone data. We don't have any bones. Let's do it. So an array of float 1. Okay, we don't need set to anything, but oh come on, I can select the bone I'm going to use. Fuck. What is going to happen when... Oh, okay. We're going to do a thing that's not very smart, but it's the best I can do right now. Let's say that I'll put 1 on the value, say 1 to the inside the other array, and for matching the ragdoll I want a thigh, and I also want the position of the neck. So here it is, and now let's see, let's call it this, always this way. Here, and it is a power ragdoll, and we already have a set of that. So if and name is equal to power ragdoll no matching, we're going to have we need the bone weights this, and for those are strings. Let's see the definition. Yay. Which value we found? This could use some indexing or order, but that's the best we can do. So let's get list of oh god. Okay. I don't have an index. Right. We have this. Now on our get word from data, which is an in word from the data. This bone 0 as it is 0. No, it's string value of. I think. Okay. I really hope that there will be just 3 values on the array. And now we have to clear the list. And I can just do set bone weights now. I don't think it will need it, so hopefully this will work. friends from Skyrim or Skywind, other communities are saying something, nothing, and okay, this is done. Let's export all. And see what happens. Okay, reload. I see the bones were good, but what about the yeah, also the bone weights were cleaned out, but I forgot to set also the flag on the mode. I don't think I have a constant for that. Word from model mode laptop. Right, so now we actually have our powered ragdoll controls modifier somewhat filled out, and it's time for the turn on matching red doll. Which is active by default as none, while this should be, I think, yes. And our activate event ID, of course, is exactly the other from the get up begin. So this gets activated and this gets deactivated by this event, which we still don't know who will fire, but hopefully we'll find out. Come on, everything here has user data set to 1. I don't remember seeing it on the root anim state, but seems like that's the case. Anyway, here you see actually an interesting thing. So referencing external behavior. I already tried it, but this is very interesting for the goblin, because we'll have to split the behavior into one for the shaman and one for the normal goblin, because they also have different animation, and this will come at hand to actually do it on second time. Okay, so again, match and get up on the modifier list. Here made a mistake, but I don't think I set the data here, so can delete it, and this is an event driven modifier, but our modifier is again a modifier list. Okay, and it's match and send get up. And here we have two modifiers. We have an event with an alarm to send the get up start. Incredible. And again we have another powered ragdoll controls modifier, if I saw it correctly, and then a timer. Okay. And this is the power ragdoll matching. And we don't have any data here, I guess. Oh yes, I remember there was this strange thing about the power ragdoll no matching. On the control data we have max force on 0, while here on the control data we have force of 200. Okay, let's just believe it as if it was a religion. Do we have bones bone indexes arrays here? Of course not, we just like to do. And this time we have another type of mode, so I need to add another switch to this. Get name is this. Set mode in this case is word from model mode compute. Let's check if names are correct. They should. We have no bone weight array, which is great because we can actually, this is a powered ragdoll, doesn't have, we use those for the word data. And okay, get up timer mode. See, the alarm type is 0.5. It's enabled, and the event get up start. While payload is none. Great. And now we have to check the manual selector generator for Stranger Things. And here we don't differentiate for reanimate or get up. We already saw that. But we have to set the data on the children. On the get up, we have a start plane event ID, also start matching. We don't have the start matching here. Let's see how we can solve this. We actually have animations which will trigger a shitload of events, and the pose matchers, I guess they'll catch it. Or not really, because they have a start playing event ID. We should be able to translate it if we can use, if we have the matching. We don't have the matching. Let's forget the matching right now. What is the 115? Get up start again. How many times is get up start actually fired? And the other event was the one under thing, which is ragdoll. Seems kind of redundant, because we already are in the state, and the ragdoll event will just mean nothing here. So maybe we can get away with avoiding it, but not with the triggers. So at the start we get the get up end. At the start, no, it must be relative to the end. Yes, indeed. Let's do it. Get end. Okay, relative to the end, and 0. Then we get to send the reanimated, which will screw us up, because on actually the get up we have also the reanimated. Good God, what a mess Bethesda made with this. So they're all in the end, I think. Not really. So we add the controller to the word, we call the reanimated, and then we send the get up event. Get up and actually this will be the add character controller to the word. We removed it, so it's actually quite nice to see it. And then the reanimated. Great. Can I copy? No? Damn. We need to do the same for the face down. And 0 and relative to the end. Then this will be the add character controller to word. After that, you reanimate it. Okay. Still need to count for the start matching event, but right now let's avoid it. Empty bone weight array. Thanks, but no thanks. And then we have a transition array, but that was just for thing. What about the transition we have on this state, which is the fully ragdoll to get up from ragdoll, I guess. Let's get up start. So we should be in order here. Of course, I don't think the simulation will. Whoa, it's actually going into space. Great. Oh god. No. Just told me I have saved those events. It's time to kill the havoc. And of course the tool crashed as it never did before. Yes. Let's check for the events. Yeah. They're still here and their name, so let's export. Hopefully all things we've added to the post processor will work. We have our mode ragdoll. We're about to compute. Oh gosh, we don't have a compute. And why is that? Should be on powered ragdoll matching, I guess. Let's check. Word from model mode compute, so yes, and it is an HKP powered ragdoll. Which is correct. Afraid I didn't regenerate after the last. That's so I should have probably 2 ragdoll. Please match the case. This is no matching. What about the matching? Wasn't processed. Wasn't pro. Yes. I get why. Let's fix this. and re-export. We get an array out of bound. Oh yes, of course, because I didn't do the same thing here. Of course, we want the root bone, and then we need what was that? Yeah, the thigh and the neck. Thigh. And let's try it again. Did I miss one of this? No, there's just size 1. Very strange. Seems like it only found 2 IDs, but how is it possible actually? Better to launch it with the back. What about our array list of IDs? We have 3 integer again, and now we have 2. Just 0 and 1, and that's why. Doesn't get to 10. List will also allow for duplicates, so I really can't understand why it doesn't get to the point. Seems perfect. Yeah. 1, 2. Didn't understood this crash. I'm sure it's something very stupid, but beginning to lose any concentration to sleep. want to solve it. Testing again. That wasn't added. Why is that? Seriously, why is that? Very, very strange. It's like the one on the array doesn't get read. I broke the both of them. That wasn't easy to do. Okay. Actually losing consciousness right now, so I think I will debug it on another time. Thanks for listening and have a good night.